These chocolate chip cookies are the best chocolate chip cookies, and I can prove it. Number one, they are made with ancient grains and super quality and nutritious ingredients. Number two, these cookies are rated a 10 out of 10. I don't know why I'm doing zero. It needs to have a one in front of it. I don't know how the camera's doing it. Anyways, number three, there is a secret ingredient. And when you discover the secret ingredient, you're gonna be like this, oh, okay, that's a good one. Number four, I just got back from a vacation and I have a line of people that are wanting these cookies. And I'm like, y'all, I deserve a vacation too. And but they don't care. They want their cookies. So I'm like this, okay, fine. I'm making the cookies. Anyways, I am so excited. These are made with ancient grains. I'm using einkorn today. You could also use soft white or any other thing. Really, you can even use hard white if you want to. If you don't have, I'm using the Wonder Mill. If you don't use fresh milled flour, you can get fresh milled, not fresh milled. You can get the Jovial brand of einkorn that's already made for you. Anyways, okay, let's get into it. Okay, sit back, relax, and watch because I'm gonna have the chocolate chip cookie recipe with the einkorn in the description box for you so you don't have to take notes. We are gonna start with our dry ingredients first. I'm gonna whisk them together. It is einkorn flour, a half a teaspoon of baking soda, and a half a teaspoon of salt. If you're like, what is einkorn flour? Oh my goodness, you're in for a treat. So einkorn flour is going to really help if you have any digestive issues. You're going to notice that after eating these cookies, you're not going to feel bloated or it's just going to be so much easier to digest because einkorn is an ancient grain, so its gluten structure is completely different. I have recipes for einkorn bread that is so fantastic. So if the normal bread messes up your stomach, einkorn is the answer. It also has a lot of nutrition in it. And I did want to say I milled up my einkorn myself with my Wonder Mill. If you're like, what is that? I do not have a mill for my einkorn. No big deal. Get it from the store. They sell einkorn flour in the store. A great brand is Jovial, and if you have a choice between the all-purpose and the whole wheat, choose the whole wheat einkorn. That's great. Also for the salt, get your baking soda that doesn't have aluminum in it. And then for your salt, use Redmond's real salt if you can. It's unrefined mineral salt, so it does have the minerals. So the ingredients matter to make this not only is it delicious, you're gonna die, but it's so good. Oh, I don't know if I mentioned einkorn flour also makes these chocolate chip cookies super, super moist. So that is another reason why. Okay, so the next thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mix my wet ingredients together. And I have melted butter that has been cool. Don't put hot butter in here because in a second, you have the option to use sourdough discard, or if you don't make sourdough bread and you don't have sourdough discard, no big deal. We're gonna use something else that you can always substitute. And actually, I'm going to use that today because I just got back from a vacation and I have some requests for my cookies. And so I'm using kefir. Kefir has lots of probiotics in it. That is a super big tip for you. If you ever want to make a recipe, it calls for sourdough discard. No big deal. Use kefir. Get the plain, unsweetened kind. Okay, so that was, let me see here, that was 100 grams, or it's about a half a cup of kefir. And then the melted butter was a half a cup or 113 grams. All right, the next thing that we're going to add in here is we're going to add 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla extract. Oh my gosh, I love the smell of vanilla extract. Do you? I remember when I was a little kid, I'm sure you did this too. I would always smell it and then I'd want to taste it. And then my mom would let me taste it. And I'm like, ugh, and it's, of course I do it to my kids too. Oh, it's so funny things we remember from childhood. The next thing that you are going to add in here is going to be 1 egg yolk. And you're like, well, why don't I just put the whole egg in there? Well, the egg yolk helps make the cookies that we're making not cakey. So it gives it a more cookie consistency. And Oh my gosh, aren't not this particular image, but aren't these dishes the cutest thing? I found these little star dishes and I love them. Oh my gosh, I use them for my tea rest when I make matcha teas. I use them to put my ingredients in there. They're just so cute. The next thing that we're going to do is we are going to add in oh my goodness, I forgot. I didn't add this into my dry ingredients. That is my baking soda and my salt. So I already said I did half a teaspoon of baking soda and salt. Ha 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 ha. Sometimes I get distracted when I'm cooking and filming. So it's really good though, because you'll see I am not perfect. And that makes all my recipes foolproof. Y'all, if I can do it, you can do it. But these chocolate chip cookies are so easy. We're gonna have these whipped up in like 20 minutes. It's amazing. Okay, the next thing that we want to add is, remember how at the beginning I said that I have a secret ingredient for you? Well, it's actually a bunch of secret ingredients. The einkorn is a secret ingredient. The kefir is a pro tip secret ingredient. But this is actually what I was talking about. So for this one, we are going to have a half a cup of sucanat and a fourth a cup of coconut sugar. This is my secret ingredient. If you don't have sucanat, you can use a half a cup of brown sugar. Just make sure it's packed, and you can use a fourth a cup of white sugar. But the reason why I use the sucanat and the coconut sugar is sucanat and the coconut sugar is unrefined sugars. So it's going to have, trace amounts of minerals in there. And then the coconut sugar is going to give it kind of like a caramel type taste, just a hint of that caramel flavor, which is really going to be so good in the cookies. I have taste testers, and so that I have all my recipes. They are not related, so I give them samples of taste, and they give me honest opinions. And they're not my friends either. So like it's true taste testers, and they have a penchant for like flavorings and stuff like that. And one of them said that these cookies are not too sweet, they're not undersweet, they're the perfect amount of sweetness. And then another person, one of my other taste testers, said that he was surprised because with the coconut sugar, he was actually thinking that he was going to taste the coconut. And he's like, I don't taste the coconut. So if you're like me and you don't really like coconut, still use the coconut sugar because it's going to give it a just a yummy flavor, but it's not going to be that that sickening sweet taste. You know what I'm talking about. Okay, so now what we want to do is we've mixed our ingredients together, and we want to add a little bit at a time. Let me get my other spatula. I love working with two spatulas because it comes right off. Can't find my other one. I'll just use this one, whatever. And what you want to do is we want to add in, our dry ingredients into the wet ingredients a little at a time, okay? So I'm just going to add it a little bit at a time, and then we're going to give it a mix. These cookies make 12 cookies, and you're going to see in a minute how I arrange them on the pan makes a big difference into how the cookies will be formed and how they're going to turn out. And you want to mix. So einkorn is a very wet and sticky grain. And so it's going to work if you're used to just cooking with all-purpose white flour. It's going to, be a little different than what you're used to. It's going to be stickier. And that's what makes desserts when you're using einkorn so moist. Like whenever I give people one of my cookies or one of my brownies. By the way, after this video, take a look at my einkorn brownie one. Oh my goodness, that's like it's a winner. Like it's fantastic. I make that for like my go-to dessert is my einkorn brownies. And I'm so excited if you haven't discovered einkorn and this is the first time that you're hearing about it, or if you're like just a little bit nervous about using einkorn, start using it within a baked good because it's foolproof and you can't mess it up. And it's so good for you. Like it's got so much. Einkorn has 40 out of the 44 essential nutrients you need when you fresh mill it because the nutrients are alive. It's got vitamin B's, vitamin E, magnesium. It's just so great. And I'm just so excited for you to see the difference in how you feel after using an ancient grain in your recipe. Okay, the next thing is going to be 1 1/4 cup of the chocolate chips. I want to have them really chocolatey so that when I open them up, I can see bits of chocolate in there. I have made these cookies with 3/4 of a cup. So if you're like, I don't want, so many chocolate chips, or did you just see that? I just spilled my chocolate chips. I mean, that's what I'm talking about. So you can use it with 3/4 a cup. You can use it with 1 cup. I've made the recipe that way as well. I like 1 1/4 cup of chocolate chips because I just want a bunch of chocolate chips in there. It's just, and look how moist this is. I mean, you can already tell this is going to be super moist. Let's go ahead and scoop. You want to scoop about 2 tablespoons onto your cookie sheet. Now, I wanted to show you this. Look how sticky the einkorn is, okay? That is absolutely normal, okay? This is a different ancient grain than what you are typically used to working with. See, your hands will look like this, okay? But who doesn't like a little cookie dough on their hands? I know I do. So just know that you're going to get messy. And if you're doing this with your children, your grandchildren, I mean, they are going to have so much fun. And you're just going to have to know, oh, okay, this is sticky, this is messy. But when you taste into it and you discover how moist these chocolate chip cookies are, you are going to thank me. You're going to be like, oh my goodness, I didn't know that einkorn could do this. I mean, it's like one of my favorite grains. And excuse me, I'll put the link in the description below, not only for the recipe, but also for, excuse me again, for where you can get the einkorn flour or the einkorn berries. If maybe you have a mill, maybe you don't. There's a big movement with ancient grains, so it may be a little bit hard to find. So I'll just put the link below, and just start off small. That's my big tip to you. Don't get like a huge bag. Just start off with a small bag and test it, and then move on to the big bag. That's what I do. Okay, my oven, my oven is preheated to 350. So now I am going to put them in here for about 10 to 12 minutes. You want them until the edges are set and the centers are soft. And I did want to let you know, I spaced out these cookies. So space them out between like 2 and 3 inches apart. If you cram too many cookies on your pan, that is where you're going to get the cookies going together, and it's going to turn into like, one of those one big cookie. Okay, so that's a little pro tip for you. All right, I will see you in 10 to 12 minutes. Cookies are out of the oven. We want to let these cool on the baking sheet for 5 minutes before we transfer them to a wire rack. My daughter Penelope has happily volunteered to taste the cookies for you guys. Okay, Penelope, go. Wait, hold on. Let me get that. Oh.
Wow, this is really good. Like the chocolate, it's like a perfect balance with like the chocolate chips and like the ooey crunchy cookie crust. It's so good and gooey and delicious. I love this so much. Like I could eat this every day.
Do you want to help me make the next batch?
Yeah.
Okay.